Chapter 73. Her Hand. But usually it was more like 500 in the past few years. So that should tell you of the people that attended this graduation, cheering back, as Harlt started to talk again. The lights lowered to darkness. It is of the greatest sadness that we have decided to discontinue the medical collection, and all of the staff and students, both past and present and future, shall no longer be of use. The firing will commence immediately. Thank you for your time. The murmuring started. What does he mean? This is all I know. What will we do now? Then the sounds came zooming in the air. There was no running, no screams, nothing, just silence. I felt Lilith's head fall on my shoulder. I could feel such warmth from her wetting my clothes, yet I could see nothing but the darkness around me. Then I felt her hand touch mine. Through everything, I heard her say my name. Then her hand weighed heavy on mine. Something snapped in me. I grabbed her, throwing her to the ground, me on top of her, feeling about her. I could feel her breathing. I placed my hands on her wound, trying to have her hold on. I cried out for Gary to help me, but he did not respond to me. Hours seemed to pass in the pitch black. In this time, she slipped away from me. Even then, I couldn't get out the words I longed to say to her. The lights came on after a final shot was heard. Every single one was gone, both the old and the young, but I remained. I looked down at my Lilith, her body paler than Christmas snow, the blood darkening on her golden locks. I held to her, crying, waiting to be seen for my firing. But Harlt, being the man he is, came on the speaker. "You, Furnius." "Yes," I said, trembling in anger. "You're dismissed. You can go. Someone will escort you to your new home." "And where is that?" I yelled. "A land of grass and trees where you can find your new placement." I stood up, my legs barely holding me. "I am a doctor, that's my placement, so you might as well kill me too." "That will not be necessary. Then I'll do it myself." I pulled out a pen, putting it to my neck just as I touched my skin, finding an artery. He spoke again. "Perhaps a compromise is in need here." "And what's that, you monster?" "Now, none of that. That girl there, Lilith, you care for her?" "Yes, and you killed her." "What if I allow you and her to personally come work for me at Hartsland to live out your days?" "Do you not have eyes? She's gone. She's dead." "She doesn't have to be. With your help, we can bring her back. Perhaps then you could be man enough to tell her how you feel." I looked at her. She was still so beautiful. I dropped the pen and picked her up. I walked out of the stadium that day determined to fix what was broken, and that brings us to now. Henry spoke up. "What a great story. Thank you, doctor." All I wanted to do was hug the man in front of me, but my feet wouldn't move. Colt spoke up. "And Lilith?" The doctor put his head down. "That Lilith was gone. In all my attempts, all were failures. I had no heart to get rid of them entirely, and perhaps I am no better than him for continuing to try until 40 years ago, when I realized I could never truly create my Lilith. But I succeeded in creating not my Lilith, but perhaps the child we would have had together. She was identical to Lilith, except she had my black hair. I called her Lily. But I fear my temper and rage also carried over into her, and it showed the more she grew. By the time she was 15, she was sweet and a delight, but dangerous. Even the most concentrated bliss was not capable of stopping her wrath. If she didn't get things her exact way, she became uncontrollable. So I let her go one night. I allowed her to escape. I could not destroy what I had created, and though I feared her, I also miss her so greatly. I begged Mr. Hartz to do the same, to allow her to leave without harm, in agreeance that I would continue to work for him. The doctor looked up, stopping his tears from falling till he could control them. "Excuse me, but I should really get back to my work."